guys.
I'm Bob.
I'm Barb. Together we make up
HetteshWorld. Hey Barb, what's our topic today?
It's how we stay safe on the road, and we're going to show you and take you with us, so stay tuned. So one of the most important ones is going to be intuition, or your gut.
After 3.5 years on the road, your gut can tell you a lot of things. And one of the things it can tell you, if you pull into an area, whether it's a rest area, and it doesn't feel good, you need to move on.
Yep. Same way with the campground. If the campground feels sketchy, or the person you pull next to feels sketchy, contact the office. Or if you can be anywhere, just move. Or if somebody sketchy pulls up while you're there, move. Walk away from stupid every chance you get.
Yep, because your gut can tell you a lot.
And then in trip planning, hopefully this will help you eliminate some of the issues that you have here, but not always.
Yep. Having a hitch lock on your fifth wheel or on your travel trailer, some type of lock, so when you're away from your vehicle, whether you're boondocking or in a campground, you want to make sure you got some way of locking up that hitch so your valuable doesn't leave you.
So having a security system is important. So what do we do, Bob?
Well, we have a Ring system, and we'll show it to you. Our Ring doorbell. So we're alerted if someone walks up to our camper or walks through our site, or if they actually hit the Ring doorbell, it'll alert us on our phones. So inside our RV, and we got a complete system that we installed when we first went on the road. We got the keypad for arming. We also have a door contact. This lets us know if someone opens the door or arms it. We have motion detectors. So we have this one here. We have one also in our garage. Since our garage is not attached to the camper, we've got one inside the garage. We also have a smoke detector up here, and it's also CO2 monitoring, so it checks that, and it's tied to the Ring. Down here, our propane monitor, it has what they call a listener, so it listens. If the alarm goes off, it'll alert us on there. Also in our storage is down below where the water is, we've got some freeze water alarms, so those will let us know if we have a water leak.
Another thing is you want to definitely have fresh water. You want to have some on board, because you never know when something's going to happen. You may need it while you're traveling on travel day. The park, water may be shut off, and then you're going to need water. Or God forbid, the apocalypse happens, you're going to need water. It's always good to have water in your tanks.
So we use an RV lock on our door. This allows us to put a code in here to be able to get in and out. We have a remote control to be able to get in and out, so we can lock our tumbler and deadbolt.
Bob, what if that doesn't work? What do we do?
We have a hidden key on the camper somewhere, and I'm not telling you where, but it's hidden just in case this fails.
It's in a magnetic box.
Because there's no place to climb through this camper to get back inside.
And it's stayed there almost 4 years now.
And it's still there. So knowing your weather is a very important thing, so we track it several different ways. One is by our weather station that's on the actual camper, which gives us all the up-to-date information. It gives us a forecast, all that stuff. It'll give us wind speeds, which we use all the time. Pulling the camper down the road, you know your wind speeds, because once you get over 30, 40, 50 mile an hour, whether it's a crosswind or a headwind or a tailwind, they could all affect how your camper goes down the road. We also use WeatherBug as our go-to just for the actual temperature and that kind of stuff. But we also use Ryan Hall, y'all, which is an awesome connection. He's out of Kentucky. So if you need Ryan Hall, y'all, he's on YouTube, and he'll go live when weather gets bad, no matter what state. He covers them all. And he also has guys out in the field that track the weather, storm chasers, live update stuff. So it's really a neat tool to have if you're an RVer on the road. The other thing we use is a actual weather radio. Once we get to a site, we'll program this weather station, and it'll pull up current weather, and it will alert us. And you can set it for the county you're in or the zip code you're in. Just like we used to hear, it'll give you the information up to date, and it'll alert us.
So I want to talk about having an exit strategy. So what does that mean? You need to have a strategy where you can exit the camper. And I'm going to have Bob tell you how you can exit the camper, that if something is going on in the camper, your camper's on fire, something's happened, you need to get out, and you can't get out this door, which is, of course, the #1 way to exit your camper. Bob is going to tell us how we can also exit the camper another way.
Currently, we're in the back of our camper, so our door is like midship. It's midway through. So if there was a fire in that living room, we couldn't get out this camper because we couldn't get past it. So you have to have an exit to get out. This window here is what they call an egress window, meaning it's an emergency out. So we can flip this open, flop this out, and we can get out, even though it's a 7-foot drop.
I was going to say, how far is the drop?
If in a fire, you're going to go out the 7-foot drop. I guarantee you're going to dive out of here. So that's what we use. Also, we have one in the front of the camper too. It's on the kitchen.
Yeah, you have to climb over the stove.
Yeah, but all campers have some type of egress window, or they'll have some of your toy haulers will have an exit door in the back that you can exit out, but you have to have some type of way to get out, because most homes will have 2 or 3 doors on them so you can exit out. But with the RVs being a small space, once that living room's on fire, you can't get out there, and that's your way out.
Other times you might have to exit the camper, where you can get out of the camper just fine, but you need to get to a shelter at a campground. So a lot of times they want you to use the restrooms because they're concrete and you can go inside. We've only had to do that one time, and everybody kind of stood outside and watched the storms. And then there are times when you need to exit because a storm is coming to you, which is what happened to us in Virginia, which means you got to hook up the camper and you got to haul butt and get out of there before that storm comes to you. So these are different reasons about why you might need to exit and be ready to go at any time. Now are some safety items that you guys need to always keep in your camper.
The #1 one would be a flashlight. We got flashlights in the RV, we got flashlights on the motorcycle, we got flashlights in the truck.
Yep.
Truck will have our fire gauge, we'll have jumper cables, we'll have a reflective vest, we'll have collapsible cones, we'll have flashers in case we have a tire blow. So that kind of stuff you need to have on hand if something arises on the road while you're traveling.
The biggest thing you need to have, which we have in the camper and the Can-Am and in the truck, are first aid kits. And you need to know what is in them, and you need to know how to use them.
Yeah. So what keeps us safe is traveling during daylight hours. That's why we like to leave early in the morning. We try to only travel more than 300 miles, usually less than that. And we try to get somewhere by 3 p.m. so we can get set up in the daylight. We can actually see the park during the day. We've seen several campers over the years that come in late at night, breaking tree branches and trying to get into a spot.
Hitting electric boxes.
Which, if we got into a place late at night, we would just park up front and just set up for the night. I wouldn't drive around these parks. There's so many things that can go wrong, especially towing big. It's not worth it. So travel during daylight is definitely on our top of our list. It's important to have outside lighting available to you, and not to blind the campers next to you, but to make you feel safe. Some of these campgrounds are so dark, there's no light whatsoever outside. Relying on the moon ain't gonna always work.
So what lights do we like to keep on at night that's not annoying to other people?
Well, it's all according. Sometimes we'll turn on the awning lights if there's no light in the park, and that just kind of lights up just our little area here. Sometimes we'll just use the porch light, which is an amber light. It doesn't put off much light. It also lights up our stairs. It's got a little light underneath there. If we need a little more light, we can turn on the patio light. We always turn on our hitch light because we have our American flag out front, so we always make sure Old Glory's lit up at night.
And the reason this is important is because this side anyway, I mean, there's no lighting out here at all, and we are completely by the woods on the campsite. So if somebody's sneaking up on us, we'll be able to see it. The things that you always want to make sure that are full is your propane. Propane is something that may be important, or you may be using it, or you may need, but you want to make sure we have monitors on here that tell us, you know, whether they're full, what the levels are. So always make sure that they're full, topped off, ready to go. We saw someone on a channel recently where they didn't even know that their tank was out till it was too late. And here we actually have a generator, so we like do a monthly test on our generator. We don't use it a ton, but you want to make sure that your generator is always up and running. And then on our roof up here, which you can't really see, we have a solar package. You just want to make sure those are kept clean. We've got a little app inside and a little thing that you can check to make sure that things are working and charged, because you never know where you're going to be. Might need solar, propane, or a generator.
On the truck, we got a 48-gallon diesel tank, which we always try to keep it topped off. We also have an auxiliary tank, 40 gallons. So keeping fuel always on demand, because you never know when you have to get out of somewhere and you need that fuel. So you always want to make sure you got your tanks are full.
Plus, at the high price of diesel, sometimes you get it at a good price. It's good to fill it up.
Yeah, we use that in our advantage. Having 80-gallon volume, we sometimes can find it cheaper than other states. Going over a state line sometimes can make 50 cents a gallon difference.
So how does Amelia stay safe on the road? Because sometimes she's here by herself. We're out traveling, we're out exploring, or maybe even away for a night. One way is we have a sign right here that lets people know that if something's going on with their camper or something's happening, it's got to get a hold of us in case there's a fire or something happening and we haven't noticed it some other way. This is an outside sign that lets everybody know. Amelia! Amelia! Amelia!
Well, this is our precious cargo we travel with. We love her a lot. We want to make sure she's always safe. We happen to have one control app, which we can control all 3 of our AC units. Whether it's a heat pump or the AC, we always know this girl has a maintained environment, because the last thing we want to do is come home to our dead kitty cat because we weren't able to turn the air conditioner on or the heat on.
And lastly, on keeping Amelia safe, is we have our Ring camera right here. So every subscriber wave right now, because you're all on camera. But if we happen to be away for a little bit or even overnight, we can look at the camera and see where she's at, talk to her, just make sure she's okay from a visual standpoint. Something that's very important that you definitely need to have in your camper is this. This is our little travel pouch of all of our important documents. It has all of our titles, it has eyeglass prescriptions, it has our will, it has every important document that you could think of is stored in here, and it is waterproof and it is fireproof. So if you need to exit the camper, the first thing you can do, if you can, is you grab this and then you get out, because that way you still have all your important documents with you. When you're in an RV, say you're going to be gone for the day, and even with the sun coming out, you want to keep your camper cool. Not too short, so we'll step on the couch here. We've got a day shade that you can pull down, and then we've also got a nighttime shade that you can pull down. So if you're going to be gone for the day and it's going to be a long time, controlling the temperature in your RV as well as keeping nosy people from looking, day shades can be good. Now our camper is pretty tall, so it is kind of really hard to see in, but at nighttime, no matter what kind of camper you have, no matter what kind of tinted windows you may have, people can see you. Because we've had people go, oh, that's a nice big TV you have in there. So when I'm out here watching TV, I want to be relaxed and wearing whatever I want to wear. I pull these down because it's my time and you don't get to watch.
You always need to make sure you have as good cell service, which ain't always possible, but most time it is. But you also want to make sure you got internet access, which we use our hotspot all the time. So without that hotspot, we're vulnerable to not be able to check things out.
There's one more point, Bob, that you got to make sure works. What is it with the phones? What is it?
You always want to make sure your phone is charged and on you.
Yeah.
So if you're out and about, you want to make sure you have a charged cell phone on you at all times in case you need it.
Yep. Get off social media. Quit playing, Bob.
I don't play on it.
So whenever you arrive at a park, it's your responsibility to know what are the emergency numbers. 911, of course, always works most of the time, but make sure you know your local police and fire department numbers, and also where the nearest hospital is, because you never know when you might need something, and that saves time. So when you're traveling, you do need to let someone know where you are, probably a family member or someone you loved about. They need to know what campground you're going to, what days you're traveling, and even if you're going on a hike, they need to know. All Trails even has a little thing in there where it lets the family member know if you don't come back from your hike. And an important note on that is that I did that once where I set it up so my kids would know, and then I forgot to go in there and say that I was done, so then my kids were freaking out. So we know that that does work on the All Trails app because they were getting notified. So that's important that you let family members know where you are in case something happens and you're not responding and you're missing. They at least know a good place to start looking for you. But secondly, don't share your current whereabouts on any kind of social media. You don't know who's out there, who's really looking at your stuff. I mean, we always try to share where we are or what's happening most of the time after we've left. You know, so it's current, but it's still after we've left the campground. And just because we're YouTubers, that's important for us. But even for you, RVer, not a YouTuber, you need to be aware of your safety and who might be monitoring your social media, trying to find a way to get into your camper, to be one of those people that go in there and squat or whatever they call it, or just looking to come and mess with you. So you need to be safe. One of the most important things that we have on the list is
personal safety. So however far you want to take that, whether it's a knife or a stun gun or some type of pepper spray or bear spray or other things.
Or something bigger, stronger.
Yep.
All I have to say is you don't want to mess with HetteshWorld.
Yep. HetteshWorld is well equipped.
And lastly, on weapons,
know your individual state. So no matter what state you're in, know what you can use and what you can't use.
Yeah, it's very important. And the last thing on our list is you need to have a plan B.
Yep.
If all else fails and you arrive safely, everything looks like it should be okay, you've pulled in, everything's great, it's perfect, and stupid pulls up next door.
Yep. Plan B.
You get out. It's now your life is not worth being next to stupid.
No. No, we've had a few stupids in the last 3.5 years.
Yeah. And that's what
I don't think we've ever felt that the stupid was enough to where we actually moved.
Yeah.
But we were glad when they left.
You all know what I mean when I talk about stupid. Just someone who is just not quite right. No. Someone that's maybe taken too much of an interest in you in a creepy, weird kind of way. And not just because we have a channel, but in a creepy, weird kind of way. You all know what I'm talking about. So when stupid is nearby, you
exit plan B.
So we hope that you like this video. These are the tips of how we try to stay safe on the road. Yeah. So give this video a thumbs up, smash up that notification bell. Bob wants you to
give us your comments. Let us know what we missed, because I know there's tons of them out there, and everybody's got a different escape plan or a different route or different safety rules they use. But I'm sure there's plenty of them.
So guys, remember, we're HetteshWorld.
Come travel in our world.
Bye.